We're doing live.
How's it going?
We'll do it
No,
live.
that's Marco. Marco, how's it going?
How's it going, Jiu-Jitsu family? Marco Moreno here with Jay Lopez, Christian Garcia
A
in
huge
a
honor.
Sunday, January 31st, 2021. And it's been snowing all day. How are you guys doing? Jay, what's going on over there?
Oh, hold on a second. It's Miles. Hold on. I'm gonna get his toy from him. Give me that.
What happened with Miles?
It's-
We were ready
he's playing
to
with-
go live, and then Miles started to.
He's playing with his toy.
Oh, it's
Man.
his toy.
Let go. Let go.
Sabotaging the podcast.
You say there's
Christian.
not too many. Not too many snow in Portugal.
No, I'm in Hamilton, and it's just like 5 inches, I guess, something like that. How was in Winchester?
I went to the. There's a store nearby. I drive and it's I don't recommend anybody if you live in Winchester to drive.
Like,
Don't,
can you
don't
make a calculation? Like,
I'll say probably like 6 inches,
wow.
probably. Yeah, you slip all over the road if you don't have a four-wheel drive.
What about
That's how bad is it. You will go into the ditch.
tomorrow? Do you think it's gonna keep snowing tomorrow? What's the forecast? You guys know?
Like 30-40% chance.
30-40% chance.
Yeah, but I think the big thing is the ice. I don't think so much the snow as it is the ice.
I see.
It's dangerous.
Yes, you guys be careful out there. If you have to drive, just take it easy, right? Do you guys know how to drive in the snow? Have you had any experience driving like in a bad snowstorm?
I don't recommend driving the snow at all. But if you had to, it's like emergency. Probably just get a four-wheel drive. Don't ever drive in the snow with a little sedan. I had a bad experience one time. I went into the ditch.
No way.
I was on my way to Lisbon, and it was like I don't know, like 4, 5 years ago, and right after the Shenandoah Bridge, I went into the ditch.
Damn.
And they pulled. Yeah, I was so lucky that there was a guy with a big truck, and he pulled a chain and I started going all the way onto the ditch, like sideways with my car. I have a Toyota Camry back then, and I was going like on the side.
Wow.
And after that, I went like really, really slow.
Was the car okay?
That
Was the
the
car
only
okay?
time.
Hey, Andrew.
For some reason, I can hear you.
You cannot hear me? We have Andrew Peel here watching. How's it going, Andrew? And
There you go.
not enough time 34. What's up, brother? So Andrew is saying that front wheel drive cars would be fine on clear roads. What about, is your Subaru, Jay, is good for snow?
Yeah, it's really good. All-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive. But I've seen cases where you see Jeeps on the ditch. You see
Right.
four-wheel drives. You see all-wheel drives. Do you think they get overconfident?
Yeah, and like depending on the speed, if they're going, too fast, you got to slow down no matter what you're driving. You shouldn't be driving. Some people say you shouldn't even be driving the speed limit whenever the road conditions don't call for it. But
Bro.
if you drive responsibly and it's not, you're not over there trying to do tricks on the street, you should be okay. Even in a Jeep all-wheel drive, you should be okay as long as you're I would
Right.
say not going the speed limit.
I think people get overconfident because I've been in the snow driving like at 5 miles per hour, and you always see those guys with big trucks just going at 50. Andrew says, "Don't ride the brake, easy on the accelerator, and turn into a slide."
Right. Yep.
Cool, you guys.
When you lock up your brakes, if you lock up your brakes, your vehicle is gonna slide. So it's like you pump them. You pump them, and the vehicle can kind of like it can correct itself.
I see. Do you know those the modern cars that overcorrect themselves, that correct themselves? Do you think they're probably good
Right.
for snow, like the Teslas do that?
I don't know. I'm sure they got some sort of like anti-lock brake system, but just like any car, if you're driving irresponsibly in the snow or in the ice, you're gonna end up in the middle of the road or in the ditch.
Got it. Jay, how is your foot, brother?
Oh man.
Whoa. What happened?
It's
Tell
okay.
us. What happened?
We were sparring and standing up, and I got taken down, and it kind of ended up under my leg, and I kind of rolled on it awkwardly.
Which
Little-
bring us
little-
to our
little pop.
first which bring us to our first topic of today in
Injuries.
Jiu-Jitsu and injuries. Right? Tell us, Jay, what do you think? Could you prevent the injury? Could you have done something to prevent it?
I mean, it wasn't attributed to me going, too hard or being too rough. It just sometimes when you're getting taken down. Most of the time, so just rewind a little bit. Most of the time when we train jiu-jitsu, we start on our knees because it avoids knee injuries, ankle injuries, things like that. So then what happens is when you start on the knees, a lot of times people feel like it's almost like you have to push pull, but when we start on the knees, it's almost getting the training to the ground immediately versus if we're starting standing, and we take somebody down or we trip them, because there's always a risk when you're starting standing to roll your ankle or to injure your knee or fall down and try to break your fall and injure your arm. Some of those things happen, but got to get past them. Injuries are part of the game. I don't want to say injuries, everybody's going to get injured at some point in time, but the idea is to try to prevent them as much as you possibly can.
So it's like COVID almost.
You're gonna get
Sorry.
it eventually.
Yes, I agree that eventually you're gonna have something. Me in the personal, I never had a bad. Well, no, I'm lying. I had 2 or 3 injuries that I had to stop for a period of time, but none of them serious. I had a sprained ligaments on my foot. I had to stop, and that was because my toe got caught on the mat. It was a freak accident. Sometimes people, when they hear about somebody having an injury on the mats, they immediately think that somebody broke their ankle or somebody broke their arm, right? Because that's what we are doing. But usually it's something like what happened to you. Freak accidents,
Right.
somebody turned, your foot got caught underneath. So it was a takedown, you say?
Yeah. Like a rear takedown, but like it was weird. It was a rear takedown, and I saw him facing this direction, so I automatically assumed he was gonna go for the other foot. So I stepped up the other foot, and I don't know what he did, but he blocked the opposite foot, and I rolled just awkward, And as soon as I rolled, I felt it. I felt like a little pop, not a snap, just like a little pop.
Mm-hmm.
And
And did
I
you
felt
stop?
it immediately.
Did you stop right away after you heard that pop?
No, about a minute afterwards. about a minute afterwards, whenever I could feel my ankle throbbing a little bit.
So I think sometimes what happen in these cases, people because they are maybe a little in the zone or they are warm, they feel like, oh, it's just a little thing, and they keep rolling, right? Maybe that's a good advice. You think if you any of these things happen, stop sparring, take take the night off, and see evaluate your the level of the injury.
Put
I
some
agree.
ice.
Eyes
If you
right away.
right away put some ice.
Christian,
Elevation.
what's foot elevation? That's what you're doing. Christian,
Yes.
what's been your worst injuries?
Man, um, after the last tournament, I got caught in the ankle lock.
Tournament.
Yeah, probably that's my ankles not the same, and also not doing jujitsu. The other day I was working out, and I had a kettlebell. I was doing the, um, I forgot what's the name of that. You just swing up and
Snatch.
down, and I hyperextend my arm, so it's like my right arm. It's kind of like hurt right now.
You armbar yourself?
I am by myself doing not doing jujitsu. That's the funny part.
Well, which brings us to the thing about tournaments. Every time you go to a tournament, you always see somebody with a sling, like limping
Yeah.
out of the, or getting
Like
choked out.
the guy who compete um the last tournament, I heard his knee popped in his ankle. Uh, by the way, that guy for yeah, the match was with Ganon Lang, the one who also caught me on Toho, and he goes with the other guy, and he did kind of like a knee bar from his Anubis guard. He switched his hips and then turned into an knee bar, and when he put a pressure, he was like holding his foot, his ankle, and his knee popped, and you could hear it from like I was so close.
He didn't tap.
Yeah, he tapped.
He
That
tapped
was the
after the pop.
yeah. But then Gano say, "Are you alright?" I hear a pop, and he said, "Yeah, I'm fine," but I saw him limping.
Do you think that sometimes on the mats or on tournaments, because they put too much, of course the medal is on the line and the intensity is at the highest level, right?
Yes, I mean the goal is to to get somebody in a submission, right? On a choke. If you're doing git choke holds too, you go to sleep if you don't tap. I put one guy to sleep one time. Not proud of that, but is that was more of his fault, you know. He should have tapped earlier before he goes night night.
So the first recommendation, maybe if we can make a list of recommendations for people out there, is tap right away if you ever get caught
Tap.
in a submission.
I'll say be prepared to tap if you doing your escape, and don't try to escape too late. Just tap, you know. Fight another day.
Got it. And I will say something. If you are in a tournament, maybe you have the I guess the urgency to win.
Yeah,
So that's why you apply full pressure. But on at the school with your training partners, with your friends, also it's your responsibility not to crank the submissions.
exactly. So we always tell the students catch and release. If you do foot, what we don't do much foot locks at the school because of the same thing. Sometimes you can just be holding the foot in place, and their job to skate, they can roll wrong, they can do a wrong escape or something, and they can injure themselves by you just holding their ankle, you know.
So I feel like the responsibility now
Just
it's
that's like I said, we always tell the students catch and release, you know.
right. responsibility, I think, is divided by both. Whoever is doing the techniques and the receiving guy. If you are getting caught, tap, right? Because
Yeah.
yes, and then get to keep sparring, right? But the ego gets on the way,
Yes.
right? You don't want to tap, or you want to get the submission. That's also your ego, because you could just release the submission and keep going for something else, but you want to
Exactly.
get the submission, right?
You're gonna get the tap.
Exactly. What do you think, hermano? That's more common on white and blue belts.
Yeah, I think
The urgency for them to tap the other person.
I think what yeah like a lot of the times they they're exploring jiu-jitsu and they're new to it, and the concepts they're intrigued by it, so they immediately want to catch somebody in one of these submissions, arm bars, kimuras, chokes, and sometimes when they grab it, it's like, oh, I can't let go of this. I'm gonna crank this as hard as I can, and this is my this is like my dream to have this submission, so I'm gonna finish it, with the utmost urgency, and then sometimes they hurt their training partners. I feel it's important, like when you put two white belts together sparring, it looks very it doesn't look very put together. It looks very just like a ad lib, or impromptu, you know. But if you put two, even if you put like a brown belt or a black belt with a white belt, it's almost like the brown belt and the black belt know that the foot can be off the accelerator a little bit, so the white belt can learn body positioning and movement and angles of attack, and where they shouldn't be and where they should be, versus two white belts sparring, or even two blue belts sparring, that have very limited technical knowledge.
Now, what about this question? I heard people saying this. How do I make, if I'm sparring with somebody that is showing full intensity and like just want to go after me, and I don't want to roll that hard, maybe? How
Just
do
stall
I
them.
how do I handle somebody like that? Let's say this guy is known for being super aggressive. He doesn't have um, he's only got one gear is like 100%. He doesn't know how to flow roll. And how do I slow him down? What would you say?
I think the best way is not to reciprocate that type of rolling. If he's rolling like that, in the middle of the roll, don't reciprocate that type of rolling, and slow down. And if he catches something, tap and then just start again. And if he's real fast, don't reciprocate that. I think that's more too, Hermano and Christian, like when we roll with like a new white belt wants to roll, like maybe you have a wrestler that comes in and they're very explosive, but I feel like whenever I don't reciprocate that explosiveness and we slow down and we're more calculated, I feel that they kind of conform. They're like, okay, every time I'm fast, I get caught in a triangle, or I get caught in an armbar, or they sweep me.
Yeah, they
So I
will
need to
try
slow
to
down a
mimic.
little bit.
They will try to mimic the way you roll because they want to, roll the same way you do. They want to learn, right? And some fighters, the way they learn sometimes just by like rolling, right? And also you can always tell them, hey, I feel a little um, hurt today. If you can go slow, or if you have an injury, also you can always tell your training partner, my ankle is bad today, so please don't.
Yeah.
If you like go for foot looks, don't do that the right one, or let's just go slow, like flow roll, nothing crazy. You can always communicate with your partner because it's your training partner. He make you better, you make him better, right?
Now, Jay, now that you're injured, are you gonna spar? What's your plan?
No,
Are you gonna
I'll
stop?
probably wait for a
Are you
while
gonna
until the.
stop? Sorry, are you gonna stop going to class?
I'll probably go to teach, um, probably end of next week, but that's it. Teaching, no sparring.
sit. You can sit with the Zoomers.
I'll sit with the Zoomers, or I'll.
I think I think that's the one of the most common mistakes people with injuries make. They feel a little better, and then they go to jiu-jitsu, and it's okay. I think it's okay to go to class. Maybe sit out, take notes. You should go to class if you have an injury, I think.
I
Right?
agree.
Like we had the women only class. We had one girl who hurt her arm doing something else, not in jiu-jitsu. And for 2 weeks she's been going to classes and just sitting on the sidelines and just watching the class. That's great, right? I think you should go to class
Yeah.
if you have an injury. Even if you feel confident doing a little of the technique portion of the class. But refrain from sparring. What do you think, hermano? What do you think, Jay?
I I agree. I mean, there's no point. I mean, like what if I can avoid sparring and avoid contact, and not re-aggravate or make it worse, it's worth it longevity wise. If I continue to train on an injured limb or an injured joint, and I injure it further to the point where I need surgery, now I'm going to add more time to my layoff. So I especially I'm 46 now, so longevity wise, any type of injury, ankle, arm, knee, shoulder, anything that's going to prohibit me to roll in a safe and a healthy way, I think it's best, that I just get better and just, let it heal.
Awesome. We have Crystal here. You remember Crystal, Jay? Crystal Fox.
Yes, I do remember.
She's
Yeah.
saying
How you doing,
hi.
Crystal?
I hope you're doing great,
Hello,
Crystal.
Crystal.
Yeah, she's a nurse, so like I hope she's, in this whole thing, man. I hope she's doing well.
Yes. Thank you for your work, and thank to all the first responders. We had a few students who already took the vaccine, and they are actually feeling confident to go to the mats. So that's a good sign, I think. So I gather from our conversation, guys, about injuries. Jay said, first, it'll happen sometimes by freak accidents. We're doing a sport after all, but that happens to any sports, right? It happens if you go skiing, if you're playing soccer, if you're playing ping pong, you can hurt yourself.
It's
Ping
inevitable.
pong?
Ping pong? You can hurt yourself doing ping pong, man. My wrist. You wrist lock yourself. Chess? Maybe not chess. But the other thing is learn how to roll safe by tapping often. By when you apply the submission, also be mindful of your partners. If you do get hurt, take the time off, go to class, but don't spar. Right? More or less.
Yes. Yes.
Regarding injuries.
And I
Cool.
feel it's very important, and that hermano, I feel it's very important that when we roll, that we don't let our strength or our explosion exceed our technical knowledge. Once our strength and our explosion, we use that once we use the strength and explosion as a substitute for our technical knowledge, that's when we start getting injured.
Man.
So if you feel like you're caught in a position and you don't know how to escape in that position, don't just invent an escape and explode or bump or grab or, ask your training partner, hey, how do I escape from this position? And if they don't know, they can come and ask one of the instructors,
There was a hand demo for that. Can you explain us again, please, Jay?
I can't remember the hand demo, but I asked you about it earlier.
But so
It was something with this, like if Up here is your technical knowledge, and down here is your strength. And anytime your strength is going up, your technical knowledge should go with it. But whenever your technical knowledge kind of supersedes, I'm sorry, when your strength supersedes your technical knowledge, you're over here in the injury zone, like up here. Your technical knowledge should always be up here, and your strength should be down here. You know, the strength should never exceed your technical knowledge whenever you're sparring with your partner. If it is, then you're at risk of either hurting yourself or your partner.
So to make it simple, what Henry is saying in that hand demo is every time you use a strength to compensate the lack of knowledge, the lack of technique, you are becoming a liability.
Right.
Right? That's why you see white belts sparring and just looking like two, intense two gorillas fighting, right? Like it's full force. And when you see the black belts, they are like flowing. It almost look like they are dancing. There is not even there doesn't even look like they're fighting sometimes. 100%. So how do you learn to flow roll then?
You just got to keep training. You just got to keep rolling. And
it's gonna come.
Instructors roll with, right, and roll with blue belts, purple belts, brown belts, black belts, white belts. Roll with all of them, and learn from them, and don't just roll with the guy you can always dominate every day. Roll with everybody. Get a different body type, a different way somebody trains, different athleticism,
And I might add, don't take every roll like as if the final of the world championship. Yeah. Right? You can see every roll as like, oh, I'm gonna have fun here with Christian. I'm gonna have fun here with Tanner, and I'm just gonna just have fun, enjoy, right? Explore. Let them get position sometimes, right?
Right, and get tapped. No.
Get tapped, smile, shake hands, because when you get tapped and you get angry, then Jiu-Jitsu now is like has a negative connotation, and starts getting like every time you get tapped, because you're gonna get tapped. Is part of the game. But every time you get tapped and you get angry, then eventually it's too much, right?
Right.
You're not enjoying it anymore. So
becomes stressful,
Becomes stressful. Like you're going to the parking lot and you're like having like your second, should I go in, right?
And I think some of the reason is that for the students to quit, like I've seen a lot of people, they quit. They say, oh, it's too much, too tired. I get beat out a lot. I tap all the time. I never get better. So
yes, a recipe for quitting is sparring and not enjoying, not having fun, and not being able to accept defeat and congratulate your partner and keep it playful. So great. Not enough time 34. He said, I won't roll when I'm angry. What do you think about this? Guys, don't roll if you're angry.
I mean,
I never rolled.
I feel like I said this one time. I think one time I said, I didn't train today because I was having, issues at work or whatever. And Marco, you said, no, that's the time that you want to come train and open your mind and relax, have fun, and learn some jiu-jitsu, train with your partners, have a good time. But to each his own. If the individual thinks that they shouldn't roll while they're angry, then maybe they're thinking more about their partner's safety, and what kind of benefit are they providing to their training partner or to themselves on that given day. So they know themselves better than any of us do. So if they feel like they don't want to roll with they're angry, then by all means, don't roll when you're angry.
Yeah, so what I was coming from is like if you've been angry in your daily like somebody caught you in traffic, you're angry. I feel like you should go to jiu-jitsu, right? Because jiu-jitsu will let you like release some of that stress and have fun. But yes, if you are sparring with somebody who made you angry, right? Maybe yes, it's good to just not spar. Hey, I'm not gonna spar with you again today, right? Take your time, cool off, and then come back another day. That'll be a good approach. Astros Space Monkey Shrek. How's it going?
Shout out.
Shout out to Astro Space Monkey Shrek. How's it going, bro? And Henner Gracie? No.
Oh,
Henner
oh,
2006. Ben? How's it going, Ben?
Ben, I think it's Ben Davis.
Ben Davis, how's it going, brother? Cool, you guys. Yes, a lot of things, right? Because on the mats there is too much ego. There is people who's there trying to prove themselves, right? But not, and it's okay to say no. What do you think about when somebody wants to roll with you and you just don't want to roll with him? Is it okay to say no, or you will be looked as if you are less than a man? What do you think, Christian?
If you don't feel like rolling, you can say always no. You know, like don't um take it personal if somebody don't want to roll with you, right? If you ask a person and they say, hey, no, not today, maybe you don't know if they have probably an injury or they not feeling like rolling. Like what was his name? He say when he's angry he doesn't want to roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say don't take anything personal if somebody don't want to roll with you, and just find another partner.
Jay, have you ever wanted to roll with someone and this person said no, I don't want to roll with you?
No, but when I was at Grace University for ICP, I saw an exchange between two individuals, and similar to that, the guy said no, no thanks. And then when the guy the guy that asked the person to roll, when he walked away, they kind of had a conversation over here, and I was listening. And they said, yeah, the guy's got a history of cranking and face grinding and throat grinding, you know. So if that's me, if I'm the person that the individual's saying no to, I won't say anything to that person, but I'm going to start to self-examine, okay, what have I done in the past to make people start to not want to roll with me or train with me, and kind of re-examine how am I sparring and what is my goal when I'm sparring and what are my habits when I'm sparring. If I'm sparring to defeat someone, then that might be a problem versus I'm sparring to teach and mentor and learn from them. It's a little different whenever you're an instructor versus, because you now have a mentorship. You have these people that are looking at you, and if they see you sparring a certain way, they're going to look at you and be like, man, that's the right way to roll. But if I'm sparring and I'm attacking and always, grinding and submitting my opponents and not giving anybody any freedom of movement, then they're going to think that's the right way, and they're going to roll like that. But to answer your question, I've never had anybody say no, but I saw an individual, like a little exchange where an individual came up and asked another individual, would you like to spar? And the guy said, no, thank you. And then when the guy that asked to spar, he walked away, they had a little meeting here. And I kind of just, eavesdropped, and I overheard. They're like, yeah, this guy, he's a nice guy, but he likes to roll with a purpose, is what they said. Every day is a $1,000 check, like the gold medal match at the IBJJF finals, so.
Yes, me personally, same. I always had people who always want to roll with me. And maybe because I'm the instructor, like you're saying, and they feel like they feel safe, or they feel like if I tap them, oh, he's the black belt, so that's supposed to happen. So they feel certain kind of like they feel safe, or they feel like no pressure, no big deal. I'm a blue belt, right? But when they spar with another person their level, now they feel, or a lower belt. That's also sometimes that can happen. I need to kind of represent my belt. You're a white belt, so now I have to go hard, right?
Right.
So I think you guys, you should make yourself the person on the mats that everyone wants to roll with you, and you can do that by making you create the reputation that you are a guy who have fun, who goes for different positions, who teaches, who is not doing dirty techniques like rough, because jiu-jitsu can be rough, like knee and sternum, right? Who is very controlled in their movements, who knows how to measure the intensity. I feel like you can, with time, make you a practitioner who everyone wants to roll with. What do you think, Christian? Do you think everybody wants to roll with you, Christian, or?
I don't. I think everybody wants to roll me, and I
Have
don't
you
know.
had people who said no to you when you say, "Hey, let's spar," and they say, "No, bro, sorry"?
Yeah, I have. I just walk in
Why,
and
why, why
find
do you think they
somebody
don't want to roll with you?
with me. I don't know. Sometimes they're just exhausted from the previous role, and when we have open mat, yeah, we always looking like eye contact before we start rolling. Sometimes I see somebody look away. I was like, okay, that guy don't want to roll, you know. Then I has in a couple occasions I have say no to a student, but like I say, don't take anything personal. It's probably just like trying to recover, you know.
I personally heard him say no to one of the little champs. I personally heard it.
I said no to the little champs. All right,
He's like, I don't
here,
want to talk to you, bro.
Henner 2006 is Ben Door, and he said
Oh.
he had this screen name before he knew of Henner Gracie.
That's funny.
Communication is key. Not enough time, 34. Man, you guys have the craziest icons here in your.
What is that, like Jigsaw or what?
I don't know,
so,
man.
That icon, that
2B HX2. How's it going, brother? I don't know who he is. Kevin Orr. Well, he scared me. Oh, Christian, I think he's referring to you, bro. Kevin, you sparred with him the other day?
Kevin, oh, the blue belt, Jason bro.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, he was really good. Good technique, bro.
Yes,
I had a lot of
man.
fun.
Yeah, very good, Kevin. How's it going, bro? Come back to spar with us.
Kevin's got
soon.
an interesting story one of these days. Have him tell you the story about like his belts and his promotions, and it's a very interesting story. Jason told me a little bit about it, and then I overheard Kevin discussing a little bit, but it's a really interesting story.
All right, we'll invite Kevin in a future time for sure. And he's also older, right? Kevin, how old are you? Not to put anybody on the spot, but I think he's older than us.
No pressure.
No pressure, but you can see, like, speaking of longevity, right? If you learn to spar safely and have fun and pick your partners wisely, I think you can spar well into your 40s, 50s, 60s with no problem. I think I'm 43 and I feel like the way I spar, I try to be very controlled. Even when I feel the intensity is going up, I feel like I can lower it 39. Kevin says he's 39. And then and then also you read people energy. They want to tap you. I give them an arm. They tap me, and then the second part they got they got their fix. They got their fix, and then they roll the way I wanted to roll, like going over positions and flowing and just enjoying the experience. Nice. You guys, should we close the podcast? Anything else to say? What about strength? Because you mentioned, Jay, that every time you use strength to compensate the lack of technique, you become a liability. So is strength not important, or you should not focus on strength in jiu-jitsu? What do you think?
I think it has its time and its place and its purpose. Like when you're escaping, there has to be some sort of strength and explosion. But I feel like it's more channeled for that given escape during that time. For instance, on a mount escape, when an individual's not giving you a limb for a simple trap and roll, the bracing the hips and exploding to the side in order to get that individual leaning to the side so you can shrimp your hips the other way. It's explosive, but it's explosive with a purpose. It's not explosive with just trying to push somebody off or trying to throw somebody off or just grabbing it, or it's explosiveness with a purpose. So it is important to have a little bit of strength, but its strength is channeled, the energy is channeled, and all of it has a specific reason and a specific purpose.
Christian, why do you go to the gym and lift weights? Do you want to get stronger for jiu-jitsu? Why?
Not exactly. I just like to stay fit. Sometimes there's days that I don't go to jiu-jitsu, and I feel the cravings, to like being active. So I just go there to the gym, and also because I compete, and you need to be strong. Um, like Jay said, the explosiveness has a purpose. Sometimes in a tournament, you need to be a little explosive more than in the gym. In the gym, you can relax. You can flow. But yeah, doing a competition, sometimes you're going against some guys that are like really strong, and you have to also put your brain. You have to be smart, um, be more intelligent with your technique, and before you start trying to go toe to toe with their strength. You're not um, matching up their strength. You're going for techniques, right?
100%, I agree. If you are competing, you should definitely get strong, because that's going to give you an edge, right? You have technique, you have your cardio. If you have strength on top of that, you're going to be a better competitor for sure. In my case, I just started a few months ago doing some weight training with Matt. Hopefully soon I'll invite him to talk about strength, and because he's one of the best strength and conditioning coach, him and his brother Nick, that they train with us. Man, I've seen the results even in this short period of time that I've been doing a little bit of squats and deadlifts and bench press. How important, but for me it was more not for jiu-jitsu, but for my overall body, for health, for maintenance, because even if I don't spar, I'm teaching the class. So when you have a student doing the technique on you, he's arm barring you, right? He's putting you in guillotines, he's taking you down. So we're being taken down by a student who's just practicing the technique, and we are being the bad guys, right? So we are taking like falls. We're getting choked, we're getting armbar. So I felt like the way Matt convinced me is to protect your joints with the muscle, build the muscle around. your joints and protect them, so that way you can keep teaching. So I wasn't even thinking about strength to escape, or I guess it will help too for sure, or competition. I don't compete, but just to stay strong on the mats and just have an overall more resistance, right? In terms of my body taking the toll, like you do privates, and on the privates the guy is the one who's getting chokes you, right? You teach him, and then he chokes you, he throws you, he rolls you. So just to be strong to withstand that training, I think that was important. Cleans is the best lift. What's your bench press, Jay?
The max.
Yes.
Jeez. Right, I'd probably be happy with 250, 260 nowadays. I'd be happy with
Wow.
that weight.
Man,
Yeah, I'd be
I'm
very
not
happy
near
with that
there.
weight.
I'm not even near there, man. But what about rings? You still doing rings?
Oh yeah, that's the thing now. That's my thing. That's been my thing now for the last 7 years, 6 years.
You guys should
That's my
see.
thing.
You guys should see. Have you been posting videos with the rings?
I don't post too many. I post every now and then, like if I if I had a good day on them or whatever, but not too often.
I see. Christian, do you do anything for what do you do? What's your routine at the gym? What do you do? What do you
It
focus
de-
on?
it depends. Sometimes I go and do definitely a lot of core, like all my um, chest, back, abs. I work those a lot, and anything that is beneficial for my jiu-jitsu. I always look tips from another jiu-jitsu athletes, and I just see like what they do for their, sometimes for your grips, because we always grabbing the lapel, we always grabbing the clothes, we always. So one of the main things is my hands also. I trying to strengthen my hands, so I do a lot of rope, like the what's it called, the long rope, that
Hmm.
one. Rings, I do rings.
Battle ropes,
I'm
yeah.
probably like a level one compared to JJ. So like I seen his videos, and yeah, pull ups. I was doing the other day. They had this kind of like bag, so just picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, trying to like always work my hands, my forearms,
Call of Duty with the control also.
my fingers. Yeah,
Fingers
definitely.
workout. You guys, we
I what is it called? Eye and hand coordination, bro. You have to have eye and hand
what's the game that you
coordination.
guys play?
Warzone.
Warzone.
Yeah.
How is Jay in Warzone, Christian?
Man, he's very tactical. He goes to the hill and he just lay down and sniping everybody. He's like, Christian, they're coming to you to the left. He give me some coordinates, and I know he been in the military, and I'm like, Jay, can you speak English? Jake, how do you guys talk when you guys talk with John Sullivan? Who else? Jason and all you military guys. You guys have like a code. Remember, I
All
think we
those
talked about the
acronyms.
last
Too many
podcast.
Bro,
acronyms,
it's
bro.
all GPL BI
Yeah,
T4.
yeah, it's all acronyms. Yeah. Like what?
UBA online.
You guys, we have some questions here, and if you're watching and you have any questions, please let us know. We'll try to give our 2 cents. Astro Space Monkey Shrek. Astro Space Monkey Shrek. How can I practice when I'm home? Who
That's a
wants to
good one.
take this one?
Go ahead, Christian. I'll follow
Watch
you.
your videos. I'll say watch your videos. They now have a lot of solo drills. So if you have a little space, and you can watch on your phone. Sometimes there's techniques that I see on the Gracie University. Now they have everything also doing solo drills. I see one that you need, sometimes you need a partner. You can make a dummy.
100%. Yes. Erica is here too. How's it going, Erica? Erica is saying he's shy. I think he's referring to you, Jay. That don't post your you don't post your videos. We have another question. Greenwood DBZ. Should we treat white belts as human beings? Jay, what do you think?
100%. They white belts.
Are white belts human beings?
White belts matter, you guys. They matter, and I feel like if you can think back to when you were a white belt, when you put it on, and the amount of, if you had anxiety or you walked in there and you stepped on the mat, I feel like put yourself back in that position. Kind of regress. Okay, man, I wonder what I know what this guy is feeling like, or this girl is feeling like when they're stepping on the mat as a fresh new white belt. Not really knowing what to expect, maybe out of their comfort zone, because believe it or not, jiu-jitsu and grappling in general is a lot of up close and personal, in each other's face and in each other's private space. So I feel it's commendable at the very least when somebody decides to take a step, and put that white belt on and step on the mat. Because I remember when I was first a white belt and I came in, and yeah, I had some anxiety, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna be, in this position. This person's gonna be on top of me, and I'm gonna be getting choked. I'm gonna be getting armbarred, and So, yes, I feel that we should treat them as human beings. The short answer: treat them as human beings, and remember that we're there to make each other better. White belts, believe it or not, make us better, because now we become more complete instructors. Because now we get to continue to teach, and we continue to give our philosophies and continue to pass on what we know to them, So I believe it makes us better. So short answer, yes, they should be treated as humans with the utmost respect.
Of course, it's all fun, right? 100%. We all were there. We all were white belts. Nobody starts as a black belt. So we all been there, and we all remember. We should remember when we didn't know what amount, the difference between the mount and the guard. So we should see, and now that we have passed that phase, we should look at people who comes and see them and feel that as an opportunity to pay back, right? Because probably somebody helped you. Right, I had a lot of people who helped me when I was a white belt, who took me by the hand and started showing me techniques. Right, now I want to be that person for somebody else. So why would you not take that chance to empower someone else who's just coming up on the ranks, and give them your advice and show them the way? So 100%. White belts are the most important people in the gym, Kevin. Without white belts, there are no black belts. I 100% agree. White belts are amazing. And you have to be understandable when you spar with them, that they don't know, and they want to compensate. So you have to talk to them. Hey, don't breathe, because they don't breathe, or they just wanted to do random movements, right? Hey, here, this is how you can escape, or next time don't give me your back, and stuff like that. So I think it's very important that everybody respect each other at the gym, and everybody helps each other, and just as a team, right? Because that white belt is gonna start learning too. So at what point, it's like the kids, right? Sometimes you see the kids, like they start at 10, 5 years later at 15, and now 18, and now we're getting older. So treat everybody with respect, or they're gonna get back to you. Okay, guys, cool. Anything else? Any other questions? We should. This was fun. What do you think? Should we do this more often?
Yes.
We talk a little bit about everything. Today was more in regards of injuries, avoid injuries, respect on the mats. We touch a little bit on flow roll, encouragement, help each other, and strength. Strength is good, but focus strength. And learn to be the guy or the girl or the woman who everyone in the gym wants to roll with because it's so much fun and they feel safe. There is another question. Last question. How do you balance training for longevity versus training for improvement, since the sparring is where you really learn to use the technique? How do you balance training for longevity versus training for improvement, since the sparring is where you really learn to use the technique? Last one, last question. Yeah, you got
Yes.
this?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just continue to go back to like what I said before. If you're in a position where you feel like you're, I have to use explosiveness to get out of this, then just take a second and be like, okay, I don't quite know what's going on here, and ask your training partner, hey, listen, what should I do here? I'm not quite sure, how do I get out of this? So if you're ever in a position where you don't know how to escape, or you don't know how a specific submission works, or you don't know how a specific escape from a submission works, there's no shame in stopping and asking your partner during a live sparring training session to say, listen, I just don't know how to escape this armbar. I don't know what to do if I get caught in this armbar, sans my arm being extended. My arm's not extended. I have it here. I'm holding my arm. I know I'm in the position of the armbar, but I don't know where to go from here. Obviously, if the arm's extended, that's a different story. But if you're holding your hands, or you're holding your gi, you might have the window of opportunity might still be open for you to attempt an escape. And then the best thing you could do is, if you don't know, just ask, but don't substitute with you not knowing, just exploding and doing something again that may cause a liability to your training partner. But yes, so longevity and not letting your strength exceed your technical capability, those go hand in hand, in my opinion. Those go hand in hand. So the longer you roll and the longer you use technique and focused explosion, the longer you're going to be able to spar and roll and continue to train.
100%. And also, I feel like in that question it says, how do you balance training for longevity versus training for improvement? But at the same time, I don't feel like training for longevity means that it's not for improvement. I don't think that they're excluding training for longevity. Also, I feel like it helps the improvement. Actually, I believe that you improve more by training, by flowing, because you get to experience all different aspects, versus when you train for a, let's say, tournament. It's more intense, but the positions can be more like tense, and sometimes just stuck on mount, or stuck on side mount, or half guard, because they're working every little inch by inch to get the points and stuff like that. But on the mats at the school, you can train for longevity by flow rolling, and that is also gonna help your technique, to improve your technique. So my 2 cents. Thank you, guys. Be like water, my friend. It's last one. Bonus. Christian, this is for you. Astro Space Monkey Shrek. Is grip strength important? Is grip strength important? Christian. You have to unmute, bro. Unmute yourself. Cannot hear. He mute himself.
Check your microphone. Check your microphone up that's hanging in the ceiling.
Unmute yourself, bro. Christian. We cannot hear Christian. Jay, you want to talk about that? Grips? Do you practice any grip strength, Mr. Jay?
Yes, it's important. I think overall strength of your whole body. Like Christian really emphasized something that's very important is your core strength, grip strength is very important. I mean, specifically for jiu-jitsu competitors, they're grabbing on the gi, they're holding onto their partner's pants with the gi. You know, so 100%, it's helpful. Is it a necessity when you're training jiu-jitsu outside of the competition realm? I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker. I'd just say, like, you know, if somebody were to come in to ask me in the school, look, I'm not interested in competing, but I want to know what I can do for grip strength, I'll give them some exercises to improve their grip strength, you know. But I feel like competitors, the competitive side of the house, they have to have good grips. They're able to hold the lapels, the pants, because they're able to pass effectively. They're able to take their partner down effectively. So, it is important. But I don't think outside of a competition realm, I don't think it's a necessity, you know.
100%. And yes. Yeah, I would say strength, like it can help, but don't just rely everything on that, right? Like don't be like, I'm gonna focus on my grip strength and I'm just gonna use my strength to just throw somebody to the ground. So together with the technique, right? It's not just strength. Of course, it will help. Me particularly, I never did any kind of grip strength. I've never done any kind of grip strength training. But at the same time, like you're saying, I've never competed. I competed, but not at the highest level. So I never felt like it was something like the priority to practice my grip strength. So feel free, learn to spar without having to rely too much on the grips too, you know, no gi, so you adapt. If you don't have the grip strength, you hold the wrist, or you apply techniques that don't rely exactly or too much on the uniform. You guys, thank you very much. It's been great. Miles is saying, can you bring Miles here to let's talk to Miles real quick. You wanna bring Miles? Man, Miles has been sabotaging the podcast from the beginning, so we might as well talk to him. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate. Tomorrow, depending of the situation, weather situation, we might have to cancel class. If not, there it is. Miles, brother. Hey, Miles.
Say hello, Miles.
Do you do jiu-jitsu? Say hello, Miles. Any final words, you guys? Christian, unmute yourself, bro, so we can hear you. We cannot hear you. Oh, there it is. Jay, Christian, I think is muted. Final words, Jay.
Have a good night, you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy. Be careful on the ice if you're driving. If you get injured at any time during your jiu-jitsu career, it's not the end of the world. Be smart. Take rest. Watch your videos if you're able to. If you have to train from home, the best place to start is to do the jiu-jitsu warm-up that we do prior to each class. So do something like that, you know. I saw that. Is that Ben? That was from Ben?
100%. You guys, thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Jay, I wish you speedy recovery, bro. on your foot. Keep it ice. And Christian, see you soon. Thank you for watching, and keep training and getting better, guys.